Greetings and welcome to this week's aBlogtoWatch Weekly. It's just the two of us. I feel like there's a song. There's just the two of us. Is there a song? There's just the two of us? I think there is, actually,
yes.
Isn't there?
Yes.
Just the two. There you go. It's just the two of us. It's the European squad.
We can make it if we try, or something like that.
Who knew David had a singing voice? There we go.
Jesus, it's the new low after 200 episodes.
That's right. This is it. We've scratched the bottom of the barrel so low that now we're just singing.
We do apologize.
We do apologize in advance. But it's the European squad, which means we're awake. So half the podcast is actually awake this week. Normally we're dragged down by the other pair because they're fast asleep because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. They've had a hard day's work. We are up fresh with the daisies. So yeah, hopefully for your entertainment this morning, you can, of course, watch the show live on YouTube and interact with in the chat, etc. If you choose to, aBlogtoWatch Weekly live on YouTube on Tuesday morning around about 8 o'clock-ish, if you wish to come and check it out. I also should add that they've updated the Riverside app, so I have no idea what's going to happen this morning when I press various buttons to see what it does. It's exciting. It could be anything. Could be anything. So let's see how it goes. So I've missed the last 2 episodes. Anything exciting happening, David?
I mean, for all kinds of exciting stuff. We ripped into Rolex and all the rest of it. So it was a busy few weeks.
Tell me about it. It's always worth repeating ripping into Rolex.
It's so not. I'm sure people have it coming out of their ears by now.
I did miss not being able to talk about your 2 articles. Splendid articles, though they were. Is it?
Thank you.
Which one has the most chat on it? The one about the fake Rolex or the one about the real Rolex? And what do we think that reveals? And what do we think that reveals about human beings? That is commentary on the fake one that gets more than the actual real thing.
Not necessarily about human beings. It's a topic we rarely cover in this depth, and for obvious reasons. So it's I think it was also a chance for people to vent a little bit.
Yeah. And a couple of folk have commented and asked questions about other titanium finishing on watches. Obviously, your report is that the finishing on the Rolex version is quite poor by its standards. Who finishes it the best within the sports watch? Let's park Grand Seiko, who just do everything well. Part them to the side. For example, is the Tudor finishing better than the Rolex finishing? A few folk have been asking that.
It's less offensive.
It's less offensive. Is that because of the price you're expected to pay for it, or because it's actually better?
It's a low bar not to be this bad, to be honest. So it's it's not that it's good. It's just better than something that's horrible,
I have to say, the Yachtmaster is the only Rolex I've actually asked a friend who has a friend who knows a guy who's related to a woman who works in the Rolex boutique to put me on the list for. So I'm hoping it never.
Direct request.
This is direct as it gets. I'm hoping I never get the phone call now, because I'm going to have to say, well, there was this guy David. He wrote an article. Me no like you no more.
with a request sequence like that, chances are they couldn't find you even if they tried, which they won't.
I've actually gone beyond the 7 degrees of separation in life. I've managed to get so far away from knowing a person.
No 5 handshakes. You're supposed to know everyone in the world within 5 handshakes, but apparently that's you managed to one up that.
That's right. It's like the law that proves the rule. It's actually impossible to get within 5 handshakes of the manager of the waiting list of the Rolex boutique.
No, actually, maybe this is why people are not getting their Rolexes, is because they find these convoluted ways of putting down a request.
Maybe it's like Kevin Bacon, who the phenomenon is Nina, has never bought a Rolex. So there is no link between Kevin Bacon and any Rolex store, because he's not interested in watches, has never owned a Rolex, never even been into a Rolex boutique. So the whole process falls over because no one can get from Kevin Bacon to Rolex. I think somebody needs to produce a Kevin Bacon limited edition Yachtmaster of some description. Anyway, right, so obviously the Rolex articles got lots of response, which was good to see. Let's start with 1 or 2 things from the website. Let's go to this. I'm going to need to find where they have put the share button in the newly reorganized. There we go. This is a wait a minute article. Wait a minute. Why should I pay a ton for a watch with a third-party tourbillon? We pay tons for watches with lots of third-party things. Why should it be any exception for the tourbillon, David?
It should not. I would even remove third party from the title there and just say, wait a minute, why should I pay a ton for a watch with a tourbillon?
That was going to be my argument, which is let's just get rid of the tourbillon altogether.
Yeah, don't drag third party into this. It's not. It's of course I'm just joking because it's a very valid argument. The reason why you should pay at all, not a ton, but reasonable amounts, like the Delma is probably not crazy expensive. The Bayeux, which has the exact same movement, I can tell from looking at it. Maybe it was the Trump tourbillon that had the same movement. This is, I believe, a La Joux-Perret movement or something like that. So yes, it's a third party supplier for this, but these are difficult to make. Not this Heliotourbillon craziness, which is not a third party. Obviously,
yes,
it's a shared thing.
Well, according to Jaeger, but this tourbillon looks nice. My problem with most tourbillons is they're actually pretty ugly. It's just like having a tiny skeletization on your watch. They're not actually that nice looking, and they serve no fundamental purpose in a modern day wristwatch. Although you could argue that a modern day wristwatch serves no fundamental purpose either in a world of electronics, but most tourbillons...
Neither does a flyback or a retropon or whatever, So a lot of this is superfluous at its finest.
Let's just stop the show here. The whole lot is pointless.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
This is us for this eternity.
It's been a short show. That's what happens. You get two Europeans on, we get straight to the point. It's all pointless. It's not worth your effort. Go spend your money somewhere else.
How defeatist are we by design, us Europeans, and cynical? It's like nothing makes any sense. We are not the most romantic Europeans, let's be honest. I mean, if we were Italians, we would have a heated and passionate whatever about the beauty of the cage of the of this Heliotourbillon.
Yes, maybe a Scotsman and a Hungarian with oppressive weather and oppressive regimes. It's maybe not where to go for the romanticism of the modern day wristwatch.
We only had 80 years of oppression. That's not too much. It's only a couple of generations, basically.
Only a couple of generations. You're younger than most, less than most well-established watch brands, to be fair. I mean, Vacheron's been going longer. So there you go. I think that's the sort of perspective. I think that's the sort of perspective that repressed nations everywhere need. Is you've not been repressed for as long as Vacheron Constantin's been continually in operation. I think that would bring a new perspective into global democracy and human rights, but maybe not.
I'm only buying watches from a brand that predates electricity. That's where I draw the line.
Now you see, that's the sort of thing I could get into that as a collecting moniker, right? I'm not just collecting watches by micro brands. I'm only collecting watches by brands that predate electricity, industrial supply of electricity. I think
that's the marker. That's nice marker. And snobby. That's exactly. It's something that has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of watches today.
Yes.
How much do I not miss those days of the 2000s and 2010s of these entirely arbitrary reasons and reasonings and whatever, where people would create the Holy Trinity nonsense. Well, it predates that, but that's when this whole concept was really big, and it just drove me up the wall every time I heard such nonsense like this.
How long has the Holy Trinity been spoken about as the Holy Trinity, or is it Trinity?
I once looked it up because I was so mad. I was just writing an article and I had to look it up, and it's I don't want to lie. I think I recall it as something from the 80s or something like that. I don't know. It's old. It predates.
It's like a kind of 80s thing, yuppie boy.
I think it's an older. It's something. It's not like because to me it sounded like something that somebody on a forum would say, and then all the others would repeat it because it sounds good, and it means that you don't know who those three are. Let me tell you. And of course, there's the fact that Jaeger, who was their supplier, is not in that list. It's just hilarious. It's like
it is interesting when you think about it. What was the old watch forum? where you basically needed a personal invitation to get into. What was it called?
Oh my God. If you needed a personal invitation, I wouldn't know.
Oh, no, it was like, it was way back. Oh, what? No,
was it Watch You Seek or Watch Pro Site? Or,
no.
These used to be the ones
it had an unusual name. Not unusual, but not obvious name. It wasn't like Time Zone
or nothing.
No, it was
like
something else. It'll come back to me. If anybody in the chat can remember the names of ye olde watch forums, but
what I want to do
user groups or whatever it was.
Is Google Holy Trinity.
Okay, yeah.
On one of these forums.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a post. The first post is from
share the link.
2013. Okay, let's go.
Can we predate? So there you go. There's your task of the week. How far back, without going to the Council of Chaldeon or whatever it was to find the actual Holy Trinity, then your job is to try and find the earliest reference. That sounds like it would be a good article.
Holy Trinity on Watch Pro site.
Was it Raymond?
Well, it's fun. I mean, if you want to fling yourself out the window and you need some slight motivation, just start Googling the Holy Trinity on watch forums. It's the worst. It's the worst of the worst. Honestly, it's just like, it's not about actual performance. It's not about finishing. It's not about subjective stuff like design or whatever. It's just snobbery.
Yeah. Well, I like a bit of snobbery. But that's what it is. I mean, we're talking about...
You've come to the wrong place, sir.
Yes, you've come to the wrong place. Right, so under what conditions, would you buy... Well, I don't think you would. Neither would I. I would never buy maybe I'd buy a JLC, the Gyro-Tourbillon, because it had a Gyro-Tourbillon on it. But I can think of no other reasons why I'd go, that Orage, the one I really want's the one with the silly... round bit, or that Bremen with the little hole in it that's got the tourbillon in it. It just looks bad. Any other circumstances which you'd buy a tourbillon?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to own a tourbillon someday. I certainly will. I mean, there were a few that Aria showed me from China that were like $3,000 or $4,000, which looked decent. And I just want the tourbillon for the tourbillon's sake. I'm simple. I'm a simple man. If something goes back and forth, I like it. And then if you put it into something that turns in the sequence of this whole thing, it's just more movement in a movement. This is why we like mechanical movements.
See, I wouldn't mind it so much. I wouldn't mind it so much if the crystal had a hole in it. And you could just spin the tourbillon. It wasn't connected.
Oh my God.
It was just a fidget spinner on your watch, a crystal with a hole in it with just a steel ball. Why do you want to
break a tourbillon? You would just break it.
Yeah, just
we could give you a little cutout for the rotor, and you could just move that around.
That would be fine.
Because that you can move around with your finger. It's not going to break.
I mean, if I wait long enough, one of my watches will break eventually. The hands will become detached from
more
the
defeatism from Europe. Here we go.
That's it. So everything breaks. Everything breaks.
No.
The heat death of the universe will soon be here.
Nothing makes sense, and it breaks anyway.
Yeah, that does sound quite European.
Third-party tourbillons, I think, do make sense because, it's why would you want to pay all these brands that we mentioned, like Orage or Bayo or whoever, or Delma or whatever, to develop their own tourbillons. If you want the tourbillon, you don't want to pay for all of these guys to go to work for a year or 2 years to develop the exact same thing and bring it into production and then test it and then regulate it and all the rest of it. What you want is the tourbillon for the tourbillon's sake, and then that's it. So why overpay? And actually, it's quite funny because the tourbillon has been one of the biggest ripoffs of the modern luxury watch industry. It's been they've actually gotten away with milking it for so long, and so much longer than they should have been, because a lot of the tourbillon movements that you can think of are modified base calibers. It's relatively easy to modify a lot of those base calibers. Of course, there's certain constraints with space and with torque and whatever, but it's not that difficult. And a lot of these movements, if you look at it, are identical from the mainspring barrel all the way through the gear train. And what you need is a fixed fourth wheel around which the tourbillon can rotate, and then you install the tourbillon assembly. But this is not like an integrated chronograph movement where you have to start essentially from scratch or maybe from 10% or completion or whatever. You have a complete 100% complete functioning movement, and then you change the escapement and of course the way that it operates. And to charge $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 for something like this that is so simple to do, they were laughing all the way to the bank and back. Where, you know, a lot of these big brands, because they could create this tourbillon is like it was invented and it defies the effects of gravity, such nonsense. It's not an anti-gravity machine.
It's not an anti-gravity machine.
It's a rotating cage.
It's a cage. Well, we're now on the article just dropped actually in the last few minutes. Mesmerizing solution to a tourbillon for the wrist. The Jaeger-LeCoultre duometer Heliotourbillon perpetual calendar platinum. Is there anything else this watch can do? Platinum calendar watch hands-on. Now, this, to be fair, does cost a bit of money and has got some genuine engineering in it, and is actually a nice-looking tourbillon. In fact,
looks a bit like a Lange. From this angle.
It is certainly getting Lange vibes, or I suppose you could say that the Lange is getting JLC vibes. This is a nice looking watch.
It's a Lange 1 Heliotourbillon on an Odysseus bracelet.
I'm interested in seeing. Oh, we also have a video. Right, I'm going to press play on this, and then as quickly as possible turn the volume down on YouTube.
Okay, so brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves, everybody. Here you go. Where does it? They keep on height. Oh, there we go. So there's a little
nice
video. One. There was no volume. That's a nice. Let's see if I can. Let's see if we can.
Even more powerful Lange vibes. That's crazy. That's
there we go. So that's a nice looking GLC. Question is how long how long before it goes back to GLC in terms of once you break this? What's the over
probably
under?
Soon.
Sooner rather than later.
It depends. I mean, if you go out for dinner, probably you can do it once or twice.
Okay, that's good.
Honestly, Jaeger has been doing these for a long, long time. There's no reason for this to break too easily, but of course you can get like to with the shocks and whatever that you expose it to.
Look at the lug. That does look like that is an Odysseus bracelet, isn't it? That is
it's totally a Lange.
That's really weird.
What are they doing? I mean, it's so funny, damn funny. It's like there's of course LVMH had its run-ins with the integrated bracelet design from from the Biver era, where a Zenith Attack Hoya and the Nublo could look exactly the same. There was this happened. I don't know when, like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. That was a dark period in watch design, but in the way the conglomerations work. But somehow Richemont has even more of this vibe where things just get really mushy and you can't really draw a hard line between these things. That looks like a lefty Lange one.
I'm just going to try and find A-Lion Zona. Let's find an Odysseus.
Find a Lange 1 Perpetual.
Lange
not the Odysseus, because that's
no,
different.
This is a honey gold. That's the honey gold one. Can I find one with a tourbillon in it? Well,
no. There's no such thing. But just look up a Lange 1 Perpetual.
Yeah. There's I'm on this one. Hold on a second. We just stop sharing there and start sharing here. There's a Lange 1 Daymatic Honey Gold. It's certainly going
to what I want is something with a similar contrast in the.
Yeah, I'm I'm searching the website, right? Tell me when to stop. There we go. There's page 1 of the A. Lange
Lange 1 Tourbillon Perpetual. Look up Lange 1 Tourbillon Perpetual.
I can't type that. Hold on a second. Lange. I've spelled that wrong. Lange 1 Tourbillon Perpetual. Let's see.
You can call it Tourbillon. You're the only one I allow it to.
Okay,
even some brands used to mistake it.
It's returning no search results, and I spelled it correctly as well. Lange. Let's just try Lange 1. Lange 1. There we go. Right, let's share all the results for our Lange 1. All right, go. Lango.
I mean, not on the aBlogtoWatch. I meant on the internet.
Oh, on the internet. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's. I was trying to stick with the brand.
I couldn't tell off the top of my head whether or not. But if you go back one, I mean, this is pretty close. If you look at the dial, look at the lower right corner. There's a tourbillon there.
Oh,
Lango tourbillon, not a perpetual, but still. You know, it's
not.
Put it on a bracelet.
It's not unlike. But
put it on a bracelet and you're there. Yeah.
But the Odysseus bracelet. Where is it?
It's funny how allergic to bracelets Lange has forever been. I mean, they've done it here and there, and then it came to the Odysseus, and they just knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. It's one of the best bracelets in all of bracelet history.
Is it? I've never actually
titanium.
It's
so beautiful, unbelievable.
Right. Okay. Cool. So about this, see, the problem is it's a perpetual calendar, and I assume it's still using pushers. Why?
Let's go back to the
Let's go back. There we go. Yeah. Back to the Jaeger. Here we go. So
the Jaeger und Söhne. How much is it? 580,000.
580,000 for a dancing tourbillon. I mean, whatever.
Singing and dancing. I mean, it's fantastic.
Is that a good-looking movement?
Not really. I wrote my first ever article on the Jaeger-Tourbillon 1 and 2 back in 2013. Yeah, the very first ever. Not just for aBlogtoWatch, but full stop. And I'm pretty sure that the guy who designed it has not been a Jaeger for at least 10 years, maybe more. Le-Coultre, I think was his name, and he's been elsewhere designing similar tourbillons. I'm not sure if he's back or something. It was so funny, like a couple of years ago when Jaeger showed us some form of Helio, gyro, something tourbillon, I had this very distinct vibe that watch had spent at least 5 or 6 years completed in a drawer because it was just there. I mean, it's not like they go on and like do this continuous development over 15 years for stuff like this. I mean, you have a mastermind who can think it up. It's ready, proof of concept, it's brought to market, it doesn't break too easily, great, maybe it does, and they fix it, and then they create a few iterations, and then that's it. You don't have to hire the guy for 20 years to keep applying a Heliotourbillon to various movements. It's not like that.
How is the perpetual? I'm looking for the pushers.
Ooh, very exciting. Maybe it doesn't have them, Rick.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's all controlled through the crown.
Looks like they stole.
My word, they stole it from
homework.
IWC's homework as well. I've not read the article because it's only just dropped.
But looks like no pushers for you.
I'm not seeing any pushers. They'll be hiding somewhere. They'll be somewhere stupid. Let me see. Let's have a quick scan through the article.
No, you just have to shake the watch really hard for the. That's what Heliotourbillons appreciate. It's like, that would be fun. We're coming up with all kinds of fun complications. A tourbillon you can touch, a perpetual you can shake to change.
I think there's a song ready to be written about the tourbillon you can touch, but there we go. I don't see any. I've not read the article. Go read the article. It's a great article. It's by Ariel. He's had an actual hands-on with it.
Find the pushers on the Jaeger und Söhne. That's your task for today.
Yeah, the new find. Where's Wally? Where's the pushers? Where have they hidden the pushers? I don't understand this thing that I'm seeing just finally at the side, because all the shots are.
It probably has to go back for service every 3 months, so they will just adjust it for you there.
That's right. Yeah. They supply you with a watch. I think this is odd. The scale they've got at the side is this. Is it a?
That looks like a 20-second scale.
Yeah, but why? I was almost going to say
because if it's a one, because they often put like little pointers on the tourbillon to indicate 1 minute if it's a 1 minute tourbillon, and these might have a 20-second axis on them or something like that.
Right, okay.
It's funny how you have this beautifully complicated, amazing watch and you still have the date taking up the 3 o'clock marker. It's just like my first indie dive watch nonsense. Speaking of which, here's a watch that has the 3 o'clock marker.
Let's get rid of this. That was enough from the
taken up by the date we know, which
I will share this. So David is currently modelling the Seiko Prospex Marinemaster 1968 Heritage Divers Watch, the HBF 001 and Jamstech Limited Edition HBF 002. Now I shall share the picture. Here we go.
Indeed, I will clean it for you so you can appreciate the Zaratsu.
Yeah, it's a cool. Is it cool? Because I think when we saw this, we were like, this could be a really cool watch.
I sat down and I was like, okay, I will write a review on this. It's almost 4,000 words.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is not normal.
And I've not looked, I can't remember. So there are actually 3. We get to play Guess the Price of the Seiko 3 times. 3 times.
I mean, we featured this some time ago on the site.
So
yes, briefly.
I'm going to re-guess the price of the Seiko. I cannot remember. Is this expensive or is it cheap? I'm going expensive. I'm going $4,000. Okay, let's scroll
That's exactly what it is.
Is
3,900. Yes, and 3,600 for the black.
It must have sunk into my inner being that's how much this was going to be. Right, let's stop sharing the article. Let's see some pictures close up. Give us a close-in shot, David. I'll even give you the whole screen.
I think I'm still seeing you. Here we go. Yes.
How's it wear? Is it top heavy? Does it want to rotate around your wrist? Or
I'm seeing you now, but okay, here we go. Okay, I can see myself now. I don't know why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? All right, here we go.
There we go. Very nice. How does it wear?
It's heavy. It's very hefty. The watch head, it's right on the verge of being too heavy, but it's A-okay. And overall, it finally has a micro adjust that we've all been waiting for, where you can ratchet it inwards like that. It's a long clasp, but it finally doesn't have this idiotic extension. Now you actually have just the bracelet extending.
Oh, right, okay.
So you don't have this ugly metallic plate or something like that. It's much more proper now.
Cool.
Which is what we've been asking for. It's interesting because Seiko has finally fixed just about everything with the Marinemaster and with the Prospex that people have been criticizing rightfully. It finally has a 3-day movement, 4 hertz still, so that's good. It's a completely new movement, new self-winding system, new design, new architecture, new mainspring barrel, new finishing on the wheels, new wear reduction, all kinds of things, wholly re-engineered, which is quite something. And the case and the bracelet are beautifully designed. It really I'm sorry to keep banging on about this, but that $16,000 Rolex just looks like, just a glass of mud compared to what this looks like. Seiko does not use the word Zaratsu when describing this, but it 100% is, because it's virtually the same case that the $6,000 Seiko LX line had a couple of years ago. Those were $6,000. They were 15.7 millimeters thick, which is just unwearable. I think it's just nonsense. This is 14.1, so they made it significantly slimmer, which is great. And you have these perfectly flat, highly, just beautifully reflective mirror polishings everywhere, which is Zaratsu. It's not like some half-assed solution. The separation between brushed and polished elements is razor sharp. It's quite something. And the dial is very cool too, because what you have here, I'm not sure if this gives it back, but you have this separation. So it's white on the sides and dark blue on the inside. And as I was writing this review, I realized how much of a horological muscle flexing this dial is, because not many people do this level of dial for less than $4,000, because it's a very special texture and design and execution, and it's quite something. And it's limited to just 1,000 pieces. The black one is not limited, and the black one, of course, also has the 8L45. So this new movement, this proper micro adjust. It's just finally a rounded, great Marinemaster, which is something I've been waiting for over a decade. Over a decade.
What's it competing against? Is it this or a Tudor Pelagos, or is it batting against a Submariner, which is 3 times the price?
I mean, you could totally roll this up against something that is priced way beyond where this is priced. You can actually, this is, I bring the Submariner up in the review, which is, I think, about 12.5 millimeters thick, and this is 14.1. So it's the thickness where you lose a little bit, and the comfort because it's heavier. The watch head is heavier, which is something that you can definitely sense. So if you are looking for those attributes and those matter to you greatly, then the Submariner is more comfortable. But the finishing and the overall look, this watch looks proper expensive. It's not something that they just took a Seiko diver and made it $4,000. No, it's a completely different animal.
I'm thinking if I'm Omega, I'm not worried about Seiko. Probably not. I probably don't even realize they exist. But the new Planet Ocean, the slimmed down Planet Ocean versus this, you've got to be seriously considering not spec. What's the new Planet Ocean? $9,000 or something? 8.5? Probably something like that.
Thereabouts. I would have this all day, every day.
Would you? So
I would rather have the Seiko.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go.
I would rather have the Seiko. No question. Cool. Not even. I wouldn't look at the Planet Ocean twice now that this exists.
Excellent. Right. Well, that's our first Seiko of this week. Let's go to our second Seiko of the week.
Just to clarify, not because the Planet Ocean is a bad watch, but because this offers the same level, if not higher level of finishing, a superb movement, an interesting dial, and for a whole lot less. So it's just very difficult to argue against.
Yeah. Okay. Seiko Prospect Speedtimer, one of the best chronograph movements for the money. So the question then is, what is the money? So if this is Ariel's written to say this is good value for money, where do we think Ariel's good value for money range is? I think it's less than, it's good value for money if it's less than $1,500, I think. So I'm thinking this is $1,399. What do you reckon? Do you think Ariel's thinking anything over $2,000 value for money? How stingy do you think
it depends
Ariel is?
what you get. If you get a Heliotourbillon for $2,000, then that's value for money. I wouldn't draw the line at $2,000. I would say what you're getting for it.
So what do you think? Guess the price of this Seiko.
Like, I don't know, closer to $2,000, something like that.
Closer to $2,000. Well, let's scroll down past the pictures and let's get to the money shot, which is how much is this little baby?
How much are ya?
How much are ya?
$2,500, and the limited edition is $2,700.
Yeah.
I wish we could see that amazing chronograph movement. I mean, come on.
I'm not sure it's the prettiest of watches, I have to say. It does give very retro vibes, which is what it's set out to do. It looks like it could just have walked out in the 1970s with the exception of the Prospex logo. It could just be your dad's watch that he wore when he was a student or that he got for graduation. Is it $2,500 worth?
No.
Maybe.
8R48 is... a premium high-performance movement in-house, 4 hertz, 45 hours of power reserve, column wheel, and vertical clutch. Yeah, I mean, maybe
it's not setting my world on fire at $2,500.
No,
I mean, to be fair, for $2,500, it is a competitively priced good chronograph. I'm just not sure it's particularly good looking. But, you know, vertical clutch, all of that, you'd be paying from Omega, you'd be paying from anyone else, you'd be paying like $14,000 these days, or 13 or 11 or something.
That's a fair point.
So to get all of that for $2,500, you could argue it's value for money if only they'd spent some time actually designing something that looked good. The what do you call it? The what's this wheel called here? The thing you use to wind it with does look a bit odd.
The crown?
The crown, that's the word I was looking for. The crown doesn't look like it matches this watch. The pushers I get, the pushers look very...
The crown belongs on a 49mm Invicta. You know, it's just... Why is that so large?
It is quite a large crown for no particular good reason. So,
ooh, loom.
I mean, look at that. The crown
That's a big old crown. That's true.
Big monster crown. What size is this watch? Is this?
Well, good catch. You didn't know what it was called, but you caught it nevertheless. So that's good.
What size is it? Is it only a 39.5 or something? In which case, that'll be why the crown looks so.
It's 42 millimeters wide, 49.5 lug to lug.
So it's 42. That crown must be enormous. That's you could fit that under a panoramic.
14.6 millimeters thick, which is not that bad,
crown,
but it's not great either.
Yeah, there we go. So that's one Seiko down. Go check that out. And then the other Seiko is this one. This is a hands-on, something we looked at previously, I think. Seiko 5 Rowing Blazers times wind. That rowing blazers times wind, or is that supposed to be white?
So we are blazers who are rowing, and we are vintage and rally and wind and are diving and are green and they're blue and they're 5. It's just like such a holy moly. Do they have to like find something for every little square on the bezel?
They didn't use the word heritage, so they win from that point of view.
It says vintage.
Yeah, okay, it says vintage. There we go. So guess the price of this.
This genuinely made me dizzy. It's just so bad. Rowing blazers, vintage, rally diver.
Is this like the Dukes of Hazzard? Not, or the James Bond car where he spins over? If he'd missed the bridge, it would have been a diving rally car. Like what is?
Was that a Lotus Esprit or what? That went on the water.
Lotus Esprit was the one that went in the water, but there was the one that did so cool. The 180, the 360 jump over the bridge. Don't know if you remember that one.
Of course.
I think that was was that a Pontiac maybe? It was an American car. It certainly wasn't a Lotus, that's for sure.
Because what's a jump over a bridge if you don't do a full 360? I mean, it's like it's an ordinary jump across bridges. We do it every day.
Why even show up if you're not going to do a 360 at the same time? So, guess the price of this? Less than $1,000. I hope it's less than $1,000.
$300.
It's giving me a headache. That's for sure. Oh, there's a green one as well. Who's this in conversation? Is this
Jack Carson of Rowing Blazers?
Oh, is that who that is? He rows. Who rows in a blazer? Is that not really sweaty? You just get a bit minging if you're rowing in a blazer. Why is there a?
So you're not allowed to see your $2,500 vertical clutch chronograph, but you can see this freaking base Seiko movement.
Why is there a tap in the back?
It's vintage.
Oh, is that
wind?
Wind. Is that the logo? Is it?
I think we are wired not to understand this.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure there's at least
this is an American
a few
thing,
enthusiasts who are shouting at their screens now, like, you don't even know.
This is an American thing. This isn't for us unsophisticated European types who don't understand.
Give me the Street Fighter version, and then that's it. $495.
$495. It's okay if you like it. It's okay for $495. If you like it,
it's okay for $4,950. I mean, on that basis,
you can spend $495 on the watch, and the other $4,000 on the ibuprofen you're going to need to relieve you of the headache that bezel is going to continue to give. If you move quickly,
it's an untiming bezel. It's impossible to time anything with it. But to be honest and to be fair, I really appreciate how Seiko has been consistently very playful and confident with the Seiko 5 ever since they relaunched it, a good number of years ago. There have been so many outrageous, crazy, colorful, interesting collaborations and resulting watches in that range that it's just really, really amazing to see. So yeah, very cool.
I think my favorite still the Brian May one was a Seiko 5, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's still my favorite. With a little guitar case. Quite like that one.
Movado introduces the Heritage Kingmatic, a sleek timepiece that brings back the golden age of 20th century mechanical wristwatches when design and distinction were everything. The original Kingmatic was debuted in 1952 as a self-winding dress watch that remained in the Movado catalog for nearly 3 decades. The modern Heritage Kingmatic is directly inspired by a cushion-shaped Kingmatic design from 1962. Movado offers multiple cosmetic styles of the Heritage Kingmatic, each with a 35mm wide steel case, legible dial with beautiful Dauphine-style hands, and a Swiss-made automatic movement assembled at the company's manufacture in La Chaux-de-Fonds. Movado invites you to discover the Heritage Timepiece collection today as the company celebrates both the 70th anniversary of the original Kingmatic as well as the 145th anniversary of the historic Movado brand. Discover your next timepiece at movado.com.
There we go. So let's stop sharing that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I see. I looked it up now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys didn't cover this when it was the three of you, and that's no surprise because Ariel would have been sharing. There's no way in God's green earth that Ariel would have wanted to mention what's been going on with your friend and mine. And we'll go to the Rob Report. Does Rob report? That's never thought that before. Anyway, former AP CEO François-Henry Bennahmias, or Benny to his friends, is starting his own what? He's starting
N3W5. Is that a postcode in England somewhere? Hopefully somewhere where you get mugged for your watches. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, northeast west. Yeah, it probably is. It's probably like the triangle within London that you would get mugged. So, yeah, I don't. Honestly, if we had published this on the 1st of April, I would have believed this is an April Fool's joke.
It just looks like a surprise chef. You know, they stand there.
Tuck your shirt in, man. Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, so it's pronounced news, N3W5. Now,
it's probably the least SEO friendly name for a watch brand. If I search watch news, it's going to be 40,000 million hits before his brand pops up.
It's just madness. Which is let me just say though, that's a good thing that this is going to be impossible to find. I'm not bothered about that. I'm not worried that the watch world can't find this nonsense.
101. I mean, it's been 120 something years, about 120 years, that Hans Wilsdorf came up with the word Rolex. And he chose it because it's easy to pronounce in every corner of the world. Other than some places where they pronounce it differently, but that's okay. But it was something that didn't need explanation. It was just a label. But when you say, what's your watch? Oh, it's news. News what? Like, what are you? What, stupid? Oh, it's actually N3W5. And it's just like, who was it? There was someone, I think it was Max Booster and Ulrich who created this crazy limited edition that was some chemical composition, you know, like C3H something. And then it was just a bunch of numbers and letters. And, you know, of course, that was a chemical composition of a material or something. And they chose it specifically so that people would have to talk about it in more detail, which I get. But it was... If it wasn't sexy, at least it was dorky or interesting or something. But news, this just sounds like, you know, like the cable news in the freaking Alabama somewhere. It's like news TV. It just doesn't sound expensive or cool or anything at all.
Borisic in the chat pointing out that it's rowing blazers. It's blazers you can argue about.
They can have the news magazine eventually.
Right, okay, but so here's the thing. So news, so N3W5 pronounced news, okay. Why not call it news and say it's actually pronounced N3W5? That would be easier.
Why would you call your brand news?
Here you go. But it's N3W5 pronounced news in a nod to north, east, west, south. Now, okay, pardon me, but unless this is an American thing in the way that you put the month before the day of the week because you're crazy people, then no one has ever gone round the cardinal points of the compass in the direction north, east, west, south. It's north, south, east, west. I don't understand.
Maybe for you. For me, it's northeast, southwest. For me, the sequence is correct. Right? Yes.
North, east, but it's no.
Oh, north, east, west, south. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really now, okay, let's talk about this. This is educational stuff. This is what you come to this show for. So in Hungary, the cardinal points of the compass go North. Say that again. North.
In my mind, it's northeast, southwest.
North, east. I'm writing this down.
Southwest. That's the sequence in my mind.
Okay, and in my mind, it's north, south, east, west. We need an answer to this question. Do other countries, is it only Hungary that stands out? In America, do they genuinely say north, east, west, south?
Maybe it's just me. I wouldn't want to drag all of Hungary into this. I don't know. Maybe it's just my own.
Get on
ignorance.
WhatsApp, message some Hungarian friends right now and ask them the question, do you say the cardinal points the compass?
That's actually a really good question.
In what order
Next week
do you say the cardinal points of the compass? Right, that's the key question. Boris, it's you in the chat. What order do you say them in? But this is madness.
But it's actually not.
But it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. He says it's a nod to north, east, west, south, with a brand tagline stating, "We are our own compass." No, you're not. No, that's not a thing. That's
a compass is not its own compass. A compass. Imagine having a compass that's like, screw magnetic north. I'm just like my own compass now.
It doesn't
make any sense.
My own compass.
How far
it
up
tells
your
me
own backside do you have to be to take the function?
There's more.
Okay.
I know there's more. You haven't seen the video yet. You have not seen the video yet. Okay, Borisic, north, south, east, west every time. There you go. Thank you, Borisic. So maybe it's just David. Wouldn't it be hysterical if the only two people in the world that don't go north, south, east, west was our David and Benny from Crossroads? I think that'd be a unique
We'll have something to talk about, if not the watches.
We'll have something to talk about. Right, let's go to the news website. Bear in mind, this is part of, that's the Rob Report. Where's the news
Rob Report
website?
news? Oh, that's cheeky. They just they just linked to their own news.
Oh, they link to their own news.
Yes,
that's quite funny. That's quite funny.
Let's not forget, he's not navigating north, east, west, south, whatever. He's going to 3 ast and he's going to 5 oust.
He's not, listen, David, he's not navigating anywhere. He's navigating nowhere. Right, let's say
he is his own compass.
He is his own something, that's for sure. Now, I can't, that's not working. There we go. There's the website. I've got the website. The Instagram account, it's only got one post on it. Let's share the actual website.
What is the affection that these watchmen feel with a compass? Like, why is a compass such a big thing for watches? I know watches and clocks were used for navigation purposes, but in 2026, what do I care?
Yeah, ask Thingy at Bremen. He's big into his compasses as well.
Bremen had it, Mont Blanc had it.
Well, there's a commonality between Mont Blanc and Bremen, to be fair. Surprised there's not some sort of heritage in Tudor and Pan. Right, okay. So this is the website, which is N3W5.com. I mean, this feels to me like it was driven by the fact that this was the only 4 notation website that they could find that they could then tie back in. They needed something that was short. So together into Worlds Unseen. You do need to go and watch the video of this in
how pretentious can this be? I mean, let's prepare ourselves. We need some pretension filter.
It begins here. You ready? I'm going to click on the it begins here. And boy, does it begin. So here we go. And then there's I've got to play. Okay, again, I'm rushing to the volume knob as soon as we can.
You disappeared for a while.
Not disappeared. I've been thinking.
Lower.
About what?
Well, about what nobody talks about. The people behind everything you see, the untold collaborations, the invisible design decisions, and the hidden engineering.
And BNF has been talking about this for 20 years, but whatever.
News. North, east, west, south. We set our own direction.
Swiss made, I guess.
But with a collective of talents from around the world.
And the watches?
Custom-made calibers. Something deeply personal. You'll see soon enough.
So what is this?
The beginning of a story. The essential.
Everything. Everyone before, during, and after the product.
The most interesting part.
Yes, like a perpetual exploration.
Yeah, I can do without that in my life. But
like a tapestry of exploration. Nice.
Nice. So
a compass that goes its own
way. Okay, it's been pointed out again by Boris. By compass, maybe
fundamentally
they mean a
flawed the whole concept.
Yeah,
it's a watch that tells its own time. Maybe
that's how bad the calibers will be. That the plus and minus on it will be that shocking that it basically.
I think this would have been really cool, like 10 years ago or 15, maybe. But who knows? I mean, we've not seen the watches, but the messaging, this whole.
Okay, so guess what is the watch? Wait, what watch is what they produce going to most look like, and is it going to be the Royal Oak?
It's gonna look like a Daniel Wellington probably.
Invicta. No, seriously.
I mean, you remember the 1159 that everyone thought.
I mean, this is the guy that came up with code 1159, and we're surprised that he comes up with a brand called News N3W5. Yet another brand that needs an explanation. So what's it going to? Is it going to be a code? Is it going to be the code 1159 that he actually wanted to build?
What I expect is something like that. A fabric strap, a 3-hand watch.
It's going to be a denim. It's going to be a denim strap. It's going to be denim.
What would really impress me is a denim strap for sure. Maybe some kinky leather, whatever.
Yeah, studs on it.
Yeah, exactly. What would really impress me is if they recognize the game that Richard Mille has been quietly playing for several years. And I think, they're scratching their heads over there. Like, how has no one realized what we're doing? Which is genuinely small, slim, lightweight, sporty, high-tech watches.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing still these like massive watches. And Richard Mille was like, okay, we're over that. And they've been over that for so many years now.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the watches that they're placing on their ambassadors and athletes and Formula 1 drivers and all these things, they're just high-end materials or high-tech materials, maybe not high-end because whatever. But, it's just, I think that's a huge realization waiting to happen and for that direction to be taken as opposed to another shot at making a more proper 1159.
I thought we'd change our logo to match the news logo. Nice. I thought that was because that took
A3T
ATTW. There we go.
But weekly should say 3 in it.
Yeah, listen, there's only so much. ChatGPT was already fed up doing their logo. It didn't want to do another one.
This is why RAM is so expensive, Rick. Thank you very much.
This is it. It's all Benny's fault. So do we genuinely think that it's going to be? Yeah, is it good? I think it's going to be a code 1159, isn't it? It's going to be the one. It's going to be all the wheels have come off. I mean, he's not going to make it. It's not going to look like a Rolex. It's not going to look like a Submariner or something. Is it going to lean into Richemont? Is it going to be a tonneau case? Probably not. I would guess because I think he knows he would get accused of being. You're just trying to be a cheap Richard Mille. He's talking about how it's going to be all of these people that are involved in the production, the people that do the loom and the K-shape. So there's going to have to be some artistry in it. It can't just be robots that he's crediting like they would do a Richard Mille or 3D printers.
Of course not.
So is it going to leave? Is it going to be more Beaver-esque in terms of what it looks like? Is it going to be Odysseus? Is it going to be Elang and Zoe? I'm curious. I mean, what was he involved in before AP?
It doesn't matter. I think it's honestly. I think that the clever move here would be to aim really high and try and fill the void that lives beneath Richard Mille, like between Richard Mille and everybody else currently. I think it's historical that they can make 6,000 watches and then there's no substitute. Sure, you can spend all kinds of crazy money on all kinds of crazy watches, but somehow the status, the limitation, the engineering, all these things, there's no Richard Mille 2.0 that where you can turn and people say, okay, I get it. This is like roughly the same set of values or proposition. It's just not a thing in my mind. And it's interesting. This is what technically I would do, because when you're launching a brand, even with a stupid name, you can still set it up to wherever you want, and you can see, shoot for the stars and see if it somehow lands right with the customers and with the audience, and if they recognize it as your next crazy overpriced status item to have. And that's what I would leave all this competitiveness and value driven propositions and all these nonsense out. And I would just say, okay, we're making 3,000 watches or 2,000 watches at crazy prices with a crazy design with our own calibers, and boom, here you go. You've been waiting for Richard Mille, wear this, and people will think you're rich and you're cool. That's it.
So if I told you that they'd already announced that the opening price for their watches will be 20 grand, would that make you rethink your previous statements and going, yeah?
I don't think that's expensive enough, to be honest.
They've already messed this up. Yeah, I agree.
The plebs with their 20 grand for watches. Well,
I mean,
for 20 grand, you get a service at Richard Mille,
if they're going to put news on the watch as a brand, it's going to look like it was, and they don't knock it out of the park, it's going to look like a fashion watch. I've got a news watch.
Just call it something else.
With my Daniel Wellington.
It's just, anyway. Yeah, even Daniel Wellington sounds better than news.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no... How can you spin? I'm trying to do this mental exercise of me being charged with spinning news into something that sounds expensive, cool, unique, different, something that people would actually want and would want on their watch and would want to tell their friends and peers that, oh, my watch that I just spent, I just bought a news watch. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Does it have a quartz movement? Did you buy it in a mall? I spent 20 grand on it.
Yeah, is there any way of making that phrase sound cool? I just bought a news watch. Can that ever be made? I mean,
letters and numbers. Can you think of any brand with letters and numbers that is
any
cool?
Brand? Can
you imagine Ferrari being called F3RRAR1?
The only brand I can think of that springs to mind that uses a letter and number, I don't even know if it still exists, is that magazine is it T3? Is that a technology magazine? It's the only thing that springs to mind. Is anybody else? We are
scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Does anybody else use a letter and a number, letters and numbers? I don't think they do. I don't think. Well, I tell you who does in the watch world. Studio Underdog uses 0 instead of an O.
And Bio uses three ones. That's
which
true.
No one can pronounce and no one knows how to say.
No one could, yeah.
Unless they've actually met the guy.
Actually, it was him who told me
that it was a really bad idea.
A similar explanation as it was for the MB&F Warwick, that I mentioned, where it was deliberately difficult so that people would talk about it.
We'd have to ask.
I guess, yeah, but at least it's a family name, and at least it's something, it stands for someone.
Whereas this stands for Cardinal of the Compass that nobody uses. I am so keen I so want to know what Americans say.
Good luck.
Maybe.
I thought the luxury watch scene was competitive and difficult enough, but you can make it even more difficult for yourself
by giving yourself a
I'm sure Bennahmias has the experience and has a vision. It's just not something that is very intuitive at this moment. We'll see where it lands. If he can land this plane, then I'll be like,
oh yeah. No, listen, if he pulls this off, then well done.
Impressive.
Round of applause. Yes. You can win all the POCO, the GPHG awards. Okay, here we go. Prediction time. How many years after the first production does it win a GPHG award? Year 1? That's the first year. If he times it right, it wins. It becomes an inaugural winner. It's only existed for a year, or in fact, it'll probably win what's the classic? What did they call it? The award for it'll win the Icons Award after 3 years. It'll already be an icon.
Jesus Christ. It's such an excellent question. Less than 3 for sure. Not an icon, years. But like the best this, the best that, the participation trophy, whatever it is.
Anyway, God. So there we go. I want to be
GPHG is already excited to be scratching his back with a freaking award and have him on stage and have a speech. And
GPHG will change its logo. It'll turn GPA. You can't really turn any of those letters into
you
numbers.
Can turn it into
can
5.
Turn it into
the
5. The G's a 5. I want to be at the news conference when it's actually launched, and I want to, rather than calling it news, ask every question at ASCO. So tell me about how things have been at N3W5 during the and only refer to it as N3W5. Refuse to participate in the nonsense which is pronouncing this as news.
Have you found North yet?
Anyway, right. I enjoyed that. It feels like I've got a weight off my chest.
Because it was only you who knew about this new stuff, and now you could show me, and it's, I'm glad you shared it. That's great.
Anyway, right, what's happening this coming week? Anything exciting going on?
Ooh, yeah, I'm taking pictures of the Seiko for the 4,000-word review. I'm
you mean Seiko didn't provide you with really high-quality images all of their own?
Actually, they've improved a little bit, not much. But since it's a review, it has to be with our own pictures, of course. So that's the rule, which is a good rule. And then I'm sending the Freak X back tomorrow.
Ooh, are you disappointed? Are you like... can this one be lost in the post?
It's not that. It's, to be honest, it's not bad, but they've increased the price from low 20s or mid 20s to over 40 grand. So that's a big jump for what is because the same watch.
Maybe it's because they know that news is so going to dominate the 20 grand mark that they need to get the price up quickly. Because we're out of this. No one else is going to be able to compete at this £20,000 Swiss franc mark. Because
the Freak is one of the few watches that has to fear no one because it stands on its own. It's super freaking cool. But when you can pick up on Chrono 20 something a Freak X for $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, then I think it's a bold move to go and increase the price by like 30-40%. The movement is more beautifully finished, and the minute hand and those parts are more beautifully finished. It's true. And you get a bracelet that is just, to be honest, not good.
I remember when we interviewed them, which would be a few years ago now, just how few of them have actually been made. I think it was something like in the whole history, was it less than 5,000 exist?
Yeah, in the low thousands probably. For every Freak ever made since 2000 or 2001. So that's why that's incredible. So that's that, and a lot going on.
Stuff. Well, Borisic has nailed it. It'll be the GPH Best Branded Watch Brand Award. So
nice.
Well,
are you on the jury? Dear commenter.
There we go. Right. Well, thank you for tuning in. I should really show this because we need to. This is for those of you that want to join the WhatsApp group. We still have our low vintage.
Scan you.
Scan me. Scan you. You can scan the QR code and join in the chat on the aBlogtoWatch weekly WhatsApp group if you dare. That's it from us. I think the four of us will be back next week, but who knows? Who knows? We may have rebranded by then. We'll find out. They must be able to find out somewhere what. No, actually, they probably didn't go to. Did they go to a branding house for news, or did they just have a wake up in the middle? No,
I don't think Bennahmias' ego allows for any form of external consultancy.
Okay, well, that's it for us this week. Thank you all very much for listening. We will see you again soon. Cheerio for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.